I was folding laundry in my living room when my phone buzzed. A text from David, my son. My heart always lifted when I saw his name on my screen. "Hi, Mom. Need to talk to you about the Christmas cruise." The Christmas cruise. For 3 months, that's all we'd talked about. A 10-day Caribbean cruise with David, Lynn, and my precious grandchildren, Emma and Lucas. I had been counting down the days, already planning what gifts to bring for the kids, what dresses to pack. My fingers trembled slightly as I typed back, "Yes, honey, what about it?" The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. My stomach tightened. Something was wrong. Then the message came through. "Mom, I'm really sorry, but you won't be joining us on the trip. Lynn prefers to keep it just with her family. She's inviting her parents and sister instead. Hope you understand." I read it once, twice, 3 times. The words didn't change. You won't be joining us. Lynn prefers her family. I sat down on the couch, the phone still in my hand, Bob's old flannel shirt that I was folding pressed against my chest. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. This was the cruise I helped pay for. When David first mentioned it 6 months ago, he said they couldn't quite afford it. "It's $8,000 for all of us, Mom. It's just too much right now with the mortgage and the kids' school." Without hesitation, I had transferred $3,000. Early Christmas present, I told him, for my family. Apparently, I wasn't family anymore. If you've ever felt taken for granted by your own family, this story is for you. Stay until the end to see how one text message changed absolutely everything. You won't believe what happens next. And I need you understand something. This wasn't just about a cruise. For 35 years, I had been David's mother, his champion, his support system. After his father, Bob, died of a heart attack 7 years ago, I became even more involved. David was devastated, and I stepped up. I was there for everything. When Emma was born, I took a week off from my part-time job at the library to help Lynn with the baby. Night feedings, diaper changes, cooking meals while Lynn recovered. I did it all with joy. When Lucas came along 2 years later, same story. I was the first one at the hospital, the first to hold him, the one who stayed up with Lynn when she had postpartum depression, listening to her cry, telling her she was a good mother. Every Tuesday for the past 7 years, I watched the kids. David and Lynn called it date night, but really, it was free childcare. I never minded. Those Tuesdays with Emma and Lucas were the highlight of my week. We baked cookies, did puzzles, read stories. They called me Gamma because Emma couldn't say grandma when she was little. Every birthday, every Christmas, every school play, every soccer game, I was there, front row, cheering the loudest, taking pictures, being grandma. Last year, when David's car broke down and he needed $2,500 for repairs, I didn't hesitate. I took it from my savings. "Pay me back when you can," I said. He never did. I never asked. When they needed a down payment for their new house, I gave them $15,000. "It's your inheritance early," I told David. "Enjoy it now." I wasn't wealthy. I lived on Bob's life insurance, Social Security, and my small library pension. But my son was my world. My grandchildren were my joy. I would have given them anything. And I did. After that text message, I sat in silence for an hour. Then I did something I rarely did. I called my best friend Carol. "He uninvited me," I said, my voice breaking. "From the Christmas cruise." "What? Maggie, what are you talking about?" I told her everything. About the text, about Lynn's family replacing me, about the $3,000 I had contributed. Carol was silent for a long moment. Then she said something that would change everything. "Maggie, honey, when are you going to wake up? They've been using you for years." "That's not fair, Carol. David loves me. I'm sure he does. But love and respect are two different things. Does he respect you? Does Lynn?" I wanted to argue, to defend my son, but the words wouldn't come. "When was the last time they invited you to dinner at their house?" Carol pressed. "When was the last time David asked how you were doing? When was the last time they did something for you?" I couldn't answer, because I couldn't remember. "You're the ATM, Maggie, the free babysitter, the emergency fund. But when it comes to actually including you in their life, their real life, the fun stuff, the memories, you're not welcome." The truth hit me like a physical blow. She was right. "I need to go, Carol." "Maggie, wait." I hung up. I needed to think. 2 days after David's text, I was still processing, still hurting. I had responded to him with a simple, "I understand," because I didn't know what else to say. He never called to explain, never apologized, just sent back a thumbs up emoji. A thumbs up. That's what decades of devotion earned me. On Thursday morning, the mailman delivered a certified letter from a law office in Boston. My hands shook as I opened it. "Dear Mrs. Thompson, we regret to inform you of the passing of your Aunt Dorothy Richardson. As per her last will and testament, you have been named as the sole beneficiary of her estate." Aunt Dorothy, my father's sister. I had barely known her growing up. She was the family eccentric who moved to Boston in her 20s and rarely came back. But 5 years ago, when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, she had no one. Her husband had died, and she was childless. I visited her every month. I made the 4-hour drive to Boston. I sat with her in that nursing home, held her hand, brought her flowers, read her favorite books aloud, even when she didn't remember who I was. I did it because it was the right thing to do, because she was family, because she was alone. David knew about these visits. "That's nice of you, Mom," he'd say absently. He never offered to come with me, not once in 5 years. Now, Dorothy was gone, and she had left me everything. The estate was valued at $850,000. I read that number over and over. $850,000. After taxes and legal fees, I'd net around $720,000. I was wealthy, actually wealthy, and David had no idea. Now, here's the question that changed everything. Would you tell your family about this money? Comment yes or no below. I want to know what you would do. And crush that like button if you're loving this story so far, and subscribe to the channel. I didn't tell anyone about the inheritance. Not right away. For a week, I sat with this information. I thought about what Carol had said, about being the ATM, about not being respected. I thought about that text message. Lynn prefers to keep it just with her family. Hers family, not our family, hers. David called once that week. "I'm just checking in. Can you watch Emma and Lucas next Tuesday? We have a wedding to go to." A wedding? Yeah, Lynn's college friend. Should be fun. Black tie, open bar, the whole thing. That sounds nice. So, you can watch them? We'd need you from 4 p.m. to midnight. 8 hours on a weeknight, so they could party at a wedding while I was home with the kids? Again. Something inside me shifted. "Actually, David, I can't next Tuesday." Silence. He wasn't used to hearing no from me. "Oh, why not?" "I have plans." "Plans? What kind of plans?" "Just plans, honey." More silence. Then, "Well, okay, I guess we'll have to find a babysitter. That's gonna cost us like $100. He waited for me to cave, to say, "Oh, never mind, I'll do it." But I didn't. "I'm sure you'll figure it out," I said sweetly. "Have fun at the wedding." When we hung up, my hands were shaking, but I felt something else too. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. Power. I called Carol and Susan the next day, told them everything. About Dorothy, about the money, about David's text and my decision. "Good for you," Susan said fiercely. "It's about damn time." "So what are you going to do?" Carol asked. I smiled. "I'm going to live." The first thing I did was book a trip. Not just any trip, a 3-week European tour. London, Paris, Rome, Barcelona. First-class flights, 5-star hotels, the works. It cost $18,000. Carol and Susan were coming with me. We were leaving in 2 weeks. The second thing I did was renovate my house. New kitchen, new bathroom, fresh paint throughout. I'd been living in the same outdated house for 30 years because I was saving for emergencies. Well, I had the money now. This was my emergency. My need to finally live in a home I loved. The third thing I did was buy myself a car. Not a practical sedan, a gorgeous silver convertible. I took it for a drive with the top down, my gray hair flying in the wind, feeling like I was 25 again. I didn't tell David about any of it. David found out by accident. He and Lynn came by to drop off some boxes they wanted me to store in my garage. They let themselves in with their key, because of course they had a key, and found me in my newly renovated kitchen, surrounded by travel brochures. "Mom?" David's voice was shocked. "What did you do to the house?" "Oh, hello, honey. I renovated. Do you like it?" Lynn's eyes were scanning everything, calculating. "This must have cost a fortune. Where did you get the money?" "I had some saved," I said vaguely. "Saved?" David laughed. "Mom, you always say you're on a tight budget." "Well, things changed." "What things?" Lynn pressed, her eyes narrowing. I smiled. "Just some unexpected good fortune. Nothing for you to worry about." That's when David noticed the travel brochures. He picked one up. "Europe? You're going to Europe?" "Yes, 3 weeks. I leave next Wednesday." 3 weeks? But Mom, Thanksgiving is next month. You'll miss it with us." "Actually, I'll be in Rome for Thanksgiving. Carol, Susan, and I are going to have dinner at this amazing restaurant overlooking the Trevi Fountain." The look on their faces was priceless. Shock, confusion, and something else. Something that looked like anger. "You're leaving the country," Lynn said slowly, "and you didn't even tell us?" "I'm telling you now." "What about the kids?" David asked. "They'll want to see you before you go." "They can see me when I get back." "Mom, I don't understand. You're acting really strange. Where is all this money coming from?" I set down my coffee cup. "Aunt Dorothy passed away. She left me her estate." "Aunt Dorothy? That lady you used to visit?" "Yes, that lady." David's eyes lit up. How much did she leave you? There it was, the question I knew would come. Enough, I said simply. Enough for what? Come on, Mom, I'm your son. You can tell me. Enough to live the life I want. Lynn and David exchanged a look. I knew that look. It was the "we need to talk about this" look. Well, Lynn said with a forced smile, that's wonderful for you, Maggie. Really wonderful. But her eyes were cold. A week before their Christmas cruise, David called. Hey, Mom. So, funny thing, Lynn's sister can't make the cruise anymore. Work emergency. So there's an extra spot now. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, so we were thinking you could come, after all, if you want. If I want? That's sweet, honey, but I'm actually going on a cruise myself in December. You're what? A Mediterranean cruise, 12 days, Greece, Turkey, Croatia. Should be incredible. Silence. You're going on a cruise instead of coming with us? Well, you uninvited me, remember? So I made other plans. Mom, come on. That was Lynn's call. I felt bad about it. Not bad enough to call me or apologize. You just sent a thumbs up emoji, David. I didn't know what to say. How about, I'm sorry, Mom. You deserve better. More silence. Look, I continued, you've made it clear that I'm not really part of your family. I'm the babysitter, the ATM, the person you call when you need something. But when it comes to actually enjoying life together, I'm not invited. That's not true. Isn't it? When was the last time you took me out to dinner? When was the last time you asked about my life? When was the last time you did something for me just because you love me? He couldn't answer. I love you, David. I always will. You're my son. But I'm done making you my whole world while I'm just a convenience in yours. Mom, have a wonderful cruise. I mean that. Make beautiful memories with your family, and I'll do the same with mine. I hung up before he could respond. Europe was magical. Carol, Susan, and I spent 3 weeks living like queens. We sipped wine in Parisian cafes, we threw coins in the Trevi fountain, we watched flamenco dancers in Barcelona, we took a gondola ride in Venice. I bought beautiful clothes, I ate amazing food, I laughed until my stomach hurt. I felt alive in a way I hadn't felt in decades. Every night, I posted photos on Facebook. Me in front of the Eiffel Tower, me holding a gelato in Rome, me on the Spanish Steps, me toasting with champagne at sunset. I knew David could see them. I knew Lynn could too. I didn't post them to make them jealous. I posted them because I was genuinely happy, because I wanted to share my joy, because this was my life now. David liked a few of the photos, never commented, never called. Emma sent me a message through David's phone. Gamma, I miss you. Your pictures are so pretty. Are you a princess now? That made me cry. Happy tears. Not a princess, sweetheart, I wrote back. Just a grandma finally having her own adventure. When I came home, my mailbox was overflowing. Bills, junk mail, and a Christmas card from David and Lynn. Inside was a family photo from their cruise, all of them smiling on the deck. Emma and Lucas in matching outfits, Lynn's parents on either side, Lynn's sister making bunny ears behind David's head. They looked happy, like a complete family. A family I wasn't part of. The card read, Merry Christmas from the Thompsons. Wishing you joy and love this holiday season. Generic, impersonal, like I was any other person on their Christmas card list. I put it on the fridge anyway, because despite everything, they were still my family. but I was learning that family goes both ways. I spent Christmas with Carol, Susan, and 3 other women from our book club. We had a potluck dinner at Susan's house, we exchanged gifts, we watched old movies, we laughed and talked and enjoyed each other's company. It was different from the Christmases I'd imagined. No grandchildren tearing into presents, no David carving the turkey, no family chaos and noise. But it was good, really good. David called around 8 p.m. "Merry Christmas, Mom." "Merry Christmas, honey. We missed you today." "Did you?" I wanted to ask. But instead, I said, "That's sweet. How was your day?" "Good. The kids loved their presents. Emma's been playing with her new dollhouse all day." "That's wonderful." Awkward silence. "Mom, can we talk about everything?" "What's there to talk about?" "I feel like, I don't know, things are weird between us now." "David, I love you. Nothing has changed that. But yes, things are different now." "Because of the money?" "No, because I finally realized that I've been living my life for you, and you have been taking it for granted." "Mom, that's not—" "Let me finish. I gave you everything. My time, my money, my energy. I centered my entire life around you and your family. And the moment I wasn't useful, I was uninvited. Do you know how much that hurt?" His voice was small. "I do now." "I'm not angry anymore, David, but I am different. I'm not going to be the mom who drops everything for you. I'm not going to be your free babysitter or your emergency fund. I'm going to live my life now." "That's fair," he said quietly. "I'm sorry, Mom, for taking you for granted, for that text about the cruise, for everything." It was the first real apology I'd heard from him. "Thank you," I said. "That means a lot. Can we start over? Can we be better?" I smiled. "We can try." The months that followed weren't perfect, but they were better. David started calling more regularly, actually asking about my life, listening to my stories about my travels, my renovations, my new hobbies. I joined a painting class, took up tennis, went on more trips, a safari in Africa, a cruise through Alaska, a wine tour in Napa Valley. I still saw Emma and Lucas, but on my terms. Sunday brunch once a month, special outings to the zoo, museums, parks. Quality time, not obligatory babysitting. Lynn remained distant, polite but cold. I think she resented that I wasn't the pushover grandmother anymore, that I had money and wasn't sharing it freely. That was okay. I didn't need her approval. One day, David came to visit alone. He sat in my new kitchen, drinking coffee from my new espresso machine, looking around at my new life. "You seem really happy, Mom." "I am. I'm glad. And I'm sorry it took losing you for me to realize how much I took you for granted." "You didn't lose me, David. I'm right here. I've just found myself, too." He nodded, his eyes getting misty. "Dad would be proud of you." That made me cry, because Bob would have been proud. He always wanted me to be more independent, to think of myself more. But I had been so consumed with being a mother, I forgot to be Maggie. "I'm proud of me too," I said. People ask me if I regret how things went with David, if I wish I had handled it differently. The truth? No. Was it painful? Absolutely. Did it break my heart when my own son excluded me? Yes. But that pain taught me something crucial. Love should never make you small. For years, I shrunk myself to fit into David's life. I made myself convenient, available, useful. I thought that's what being a good mother meant. But real love, healthy love, doesn't diminish anyone. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't take advantage. It honors and respects and reciprocates. I had to learn that I deserved that kind of love too, from my son, from everyone. The inheritance from Aunt Dorothy wasn't just money. It was freedom. Freedom to finally ask myself, what do I want? What makes me happy? And for the first time in decades, I had the resources and the courage to find out. Today, I'm 70 years old. 2 years have passed since that text message that changed everything. My relationship with David is better, though it will never be what it was. That's okay. We're building something new, something more balanced, something healthier. Emma and Lucas still call me Gamma. They love hearing about my adventures. Last month, I took them to New York City for a weekend, just the 3 of us. We saw a Broadway show, went to the top of the Rockefeller Center, ate pizza in Brooklyn. It was magical because it was on my terms, my choice, my joy. I still have most of Aunt Dorothy's money. I'm careful with it, but I also use it to live, to experience, to enjoy. Last week, Carol, Susan, and I booked a trip to Japan for the cherry blossom season. We're planning a river cruise in Germany for next fall. We talk about maybe spending a winter in Portugal. My life is full of friendship, of adventure, of purpose, of joy. I don't center my world around David anymore, and strangely, that's made our relationship stronger. He respects me more now. He sees me as a person, not just as mom. And I've forgiven him. Not the instant, forget everything kind of forgiveness, but the real kind. The kind that acknowledges the hurt, sets new boundaries, and chooses to move forward anyway. Because here's what I've learned. Forgiveness doesn't mean going back to how things were. It means accepting what happened and deciding who you want to be going forward. I chose to be free, to be whole, to be Maggie, not just David's mom or Bob's widow or Emma and Lucas's grandmother, just Maggie. And Maggie is pretty damn amazing. Part 15. The message I would send. If I could go back and respond differently to that text message, you won't be joining us on the trip. Lynn prefers to keep it just with her family. Here's what I would say. David, I understand that Lynn wants her family there, but I want you to understand something too. For 35 years, I have put you first. I have given you everything I have. My time, my money, my energy, my love. I have been there for every milestone, every crisis, every need. And at the first opportunity to include me in something joyful, something special, I'm excluded. That tells me where I stand in your life. I'm useful, but not valued. I'm needed, but not wanted. I love you. I always will. But I also love myself. And I deserve better than this. So yes, I understand. And I hope one day you will too. But I didn't send that message then. I sent a simple, I understand. And maybe that was the right response, because it forced me to figure things out on my own, to find my own strength, to rebuild my own life. Sometimes the best response to being excluded is to create something so beautiful they realize what they missed. If you're reading this and you see yourself in my story, if you're the mother who gives everything and gets taken for granted, if you're the grandmother who babysits endlessly but gets excluded from the fun, If you're the woman who has made everyone else's dreams come true while ignoring your own, please hear this. You are not selfish for wanting more. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for expecting reciprocity in your relationships. You gave your children life. You raised them. You loved them. That was your job, and you did it well. But your job is not to disappear into their lives. Your job is not to become a doormat with a smile. You are still a person. You still have dreams, desires, needs. You still deserve joy, adventure, respect, love, and it's never too late to claim it. I was 68 when I started living for myself. 68. I thought my life was over. I thought all I had left was to serve my family and wait to die. But I was wrong. So beautifully, wonderfully wrong. These last 2 years have been the best of my life, not because I abandoned my family, but because I finally included myself in my family. So if you're waiting for permission to live your life, consider this it. Go on that trip, take that class, buy that thing you've always wanted, spend that money on yourself, say no when you need to, say yes to things that light you up. You don't need to earn the right to be happy. You already have it. You are enough. You always have been. And you deserve to experience the joy you've spent your whole life creating for others. Don't wait for an inheritance. Don't wait for a wake-up call. Don't wait until it's almost too late. Start today. Start now. Be the main character in your own life. Because you deserve it. The day I stopped being everyone's everything and started being my own something was the day my life truly began. You don't lose yourself serving others. You lose yourself forgetting that you matter too. So what do you think? Did Maggie do the right thing? Was she too harsh? Or did her son deserve this wake-up call? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story touched your heart, do 3 things for me. Like this video, subscribe and hit that bell, share this with someone who needs to remember they matter too. Remember, it's never too late to start living for yourself. You deserve joy. You deserve respect. You deserve to be the main character in your own story.